The worst thing that you can do in life is sitting around trying to please everybody only until you get old and you look back and you're like, bro. Hi everyone, welcome back to Snow 2, the Shit No One Tells You podcast. My name is Linda Wynn and I am your host. I'm super excited to start this season 6, episode 1 on Spotify, but I'm also going to be on YouTube as well. So if you look me up through my page, you're going to be able to find me. If you're new here, hello, and if you're an old listener, welcome back. For the new listeners out there, I'm just a 26-year-old girl who's just trying to survive her 20s, and I've dealt a lot of craps in my life that I'm sure many people have also dealt with as well, whether it be career, mental health, relationship, grief, and honestly, simply trying to survive. I want you to know that you are not alone, so let's deal with all this crap together. If you resonate with me, you can follow me on Spotify and leave me a 5 stars review. That would help me out a lot. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. This season, I really want to focus on living life with intention, and I'm so excited about today's topic. And it all has to do with people pleasing and how you do not owe anyone an explanation, and neither do you. I think this is really important because for people out there like me who grows up to be a people pleaser, and honestly sometimes it has to do with the fact that you just want to be liked by everyone, or you grew up in an environment where you didn't get a lot of validation, which it is what it is, right? Growing up, I've always been such a people pleaser. I unconsciously do this without realizing that I'm a people pleaser. I just thought I was being respectful and nice. Like growing up in an Asian culture, you're just forced to always be very culturally respectful. And somehow I brought that kind of energy into my American way of living. Like the moment I moved to America, I people please. People pleasing is just not cute because you're just putting yourself down. There's a difference between respecting and people pleasing. Just because you're not people pleasing doesn't mean that you're being disrespectful. People pleasing is just like you go out of your way to do something for someone just because you want them to like you. It is found that in 2022, YouGov poll revealed that 49% of US adults self-identified as people pleasing. Women are more likely to identify as people pleasers than men, with 56% of women and 42% of men describing themselves this way. That's actually such a big number, you guys. I really think it's interesting when people think that they're people pleasers, because I myself also think I people please. Now this makes me feel bad. Now it makes me feel like every single person I met, there's a 50% chance that they're people pleasing. I think it's good to kind of be aware that people are people pleasing, and you can kind of just tell them like, hey, if you don't want to do this, it's fine. I'm not surprised though. I do think I know a lot of friends and people that do people please. What is people pleasing really? Because just because you're being nice, is it because you're people pleasing, right? Or are you like overextending yourself even though you don't want to, right? In this segment, we're going to be talking about some people-pleasing tendencies, so we would all have a gist what people-pleasing is. First, being more worried about others' opinions than your own. Difficulty establishing boundaries. Difficulty enforcing boundaries even if established. Unwillingness to stand up for oneself. Tendency to go along with others' point of view. Need validation from others. Often becoming a sounding board therapist for others. People will talk to you but are reluctant to listen. Trading favors, availability, gifts for friendship. Sometimes affiliated with low self-esteem. Tendency to take blame. Tendency to feel guilty. Will make excuses for others' bad behavior. Walks on eggshells around certain people. Whoa, okay, so I really think I can relate with some of this. How about you guys? For me, I do think I tendency to feel guilty a lot, especially when I'm trying not to people please. I would start to feel guilty. Another one I'm guilty of is needing validation from others, and not just anyone. It's mostly from people that are very close with me. I need validation from, which I established it to be a bad trait ever since last year, and I've been working on it, and I've done a lot of inner work in order to overcome this tendency. Yeah, but other than that, these are the people pleasing tendencies. I don't know if you can relate with any of this. I think it's quite normal for humans to have came across these tendencies at least once in their lifetime. It's just very human for us to do it. Unless you're like super stoic. Ooh, I see a good one. If you say yes to everyone and everything, then your yes isn't special. That is really true. I think saying no is really important because you want people to know that there are boundaries, right? There are things that you like, there are things that you don't like. Ooh, okay. Another one is, can you work the Saturday? And then you have your mom's birthday this Saturday and you tell them, yes, I can work Saturday. That's people pleasing. You sacrifice yourself to please others even though you want to say no. Guys, please, please, please never do this. But of course, if you want to, then do it. But if you don't want to, don't say yes just to please other people. Trust me, they're gonna have someone else to replace you. Empathy and kindness without limits is self-destructive. Being nice, kind, and considerate is great. People pleasing, but it is taken to the extreme. If you're like a nice person who is kind and considerate, it doesn't mean that you're people pleasing. You need to train yourself to say no because you don't want people to think that you are always available, right? If you are, then sure, if you want to, don't fake it. But if you're not actually available and you still tell people that you are so they would like you, that's people pleasing. And like, self-destructive is real. Over time, if you constantly put yourself out there, letting yourself be available for everyone else emotionally and physically, you are gonna destruct yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Why do you feel the need to have to explain to people everything that you're doing? And I'm guilty of this. Like, I used to do this all the time. I felt like I always have to justify what I'm doing so that the people that I'm talking to would understand why I'm doing it. But why? Why do you have to explain to people why you're doing something? There's no need. Just do whatever the hell you want. Why does it matter so much about what people think about what you're doing? Who cares? Just live your life. Life is for you to live. Who cares about what people think of you? People can think of you, but they'll forget about it tomorrow. Why do you spend all night worrying, crying about what people think about you? And these people are not the one that is responsible for you either. Like, at the end of the day, you come into this earth by yourself. You're gonna leave this earth by yourself. The only opinions you should care about is nobody but yourself. Oh gosh, I could definitely take some of that advice because it's hard, right? As humans, it's natural for us to feel as if people's opinions matters because we work in a very like hive mindset, right? Like, if people think this way, we should also think this way. But there's a reason why humans progress so much is because we start to think differently. We start to become more individualistic. We start to develop our own ideas. If we didn't do any of that, then how would this world have came to where it is today? You kind of have to think like that. The only people who actually stepped out of their comfort zone, stopped caring about what people think, are the kind of people that actually made a change and do things that are extraordinary. So why do you care about what your friend think about you? Because if these people are actually good people, good friends, people who are meant to be in your life, they are never going to judge you. It doesn't make them a bad person, they do. It's just that we all go through life progress, and once you hit that zen where you realize that nobody really cares about you as much as you do, and even if they do, it's probably for only 6 seconds. The moment you kind of just imprint that in your head, you're gonna be a lot more confident about everything that you do. And honestly, speaking from my experience, everything that you do, keep it to yourself. Stop going out there and telling every single person that you know about what you're doing. Keeping your relationship private, please. Stop telling everyone about your relationship. If you're gonna tell people about your problems because you want validation from them that it's okay, girl, everything's gonna be fine, what is their validation gonna do to you? It does nothing. It's only gonna make you think that it's okay. You're not the one that's making the decision that it's okay. You're letting other people make the decision for you. You know how toxic that is when you decide to let people to control the vibes of your life? Like, your life should be your vibe. It should be the vibe. You should be the one to control the vibe, not other people. So why are you letting other people control the vibe? How do you break the habit of people pleasing? So on Psychology today, we're gonna go over the things you can do to avoid people please. Starting with number 1, practice being alone. Y'all, I love to be alone. I mean, over time, being alone for too long and self-isolating is crazy. But being alone, learning things about yourself, learning what you like, learning what you don't like, that's the whole point of being alone, right? You don't have anyone else to influence your opinions and influence what you like, what you don't like. So you learn a lot about yourself, which means that you're aware when you are overly extending boundaries. That's a good one. Keep plans with yourself. I agree with this. So it all has to do with just shut the fuck up. Like, don't tell people what the fuck you're doing. Stop sharing your plans so people would validate it, right? Like, before you share something, ask yourself, do I want people to listen, to just listen, or do I want to share because I want people to validate that I am doing the right thing, that I am having the right plan? Whatever it is that you're doing, just do it. And don't share things to other people. Make a decision by yourself. This is so true. So like, whether it's relationships, career choices, and just lifestyles, hobbies, don't go out and ask people, should I do this? Should I do that? For example, I started learning golf recently because my boyfriend loves golf. And if I were to go out and play golf by myself, do I ask my mom, like, Mom, should I go play golf by myself? No. Just go and do it. Why do you have to ask people whether or not you should do something? You are in control of your own body. Go do whatever that you want. Practice saying no. It used to be so difficult for me to say no to people, but now I do think I'm quite an expert at it. And let me tell you how to be an expert at saying no. You just have to do it. Do it again, and do it again and again and again. Do it until you're comfortable with doing it. There's like no better way of saying it than just do it. Don't offer. I think the reason why we say don't offer because we feel bad not sharing what we're having or doing. We feel as if like people should also experience this amazing thing with us. Yeah, no need. Turn to internal reassurance. So remind yourself about positive qualities instead of waiting for others to notice about your qualities. Reflect on your day, do a lot of journaling. I agree with this. I think journaling helps me a lot, especially those journal where it tells you what are you grateful for today. And it helps you reflect and really internally think about what it is that makes you happy. The whole point of reassuring yourself is you don't want other people to validate you. That's the whole point of people pleasing, is you're trying to avoid the habits that would make you seek for validation from other people. Anyways, guys, those are the things that you can do to break the habit of people pleasing. These advice are very helpful. I'm definitely gonna implement them in my own life as well, because I think in our entire life, we're just always gonna be people pleasing at one point or another. It is part of who we are. It is part of being human. And acknowledging it, trying to fix, outgrow, and become a stronger person who says no more than saying yes. Aside from that though, just remember, help your neighbors, be nice to your neighbors. If you are available and you are okay with helping someone, then do it. This is just only if you're trying to please somebody else, okay? There's a huge difference, you guys. So don't be a jerk. But, if you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. There's no need to say yes to something that so people would like you. The worst thing that you can do in life is sitting around trying to please everybody only until you get old and you look back and you're like, bro, I could have done so much more with my life instead of trying to please everybody around me. When there is a lot of pressure from your family, you kind of grow up with that pressure on top of your shoulders. Like, those weights is just getting heavier and heavier every single day of your life. Okay, like, can you imagine for 18 years of your life you just have this pressure that you have to be something? What if you just don't want to be that? I just think that sometimes our parents have the best intentions for us, but then a lot of times some people's journeys are just not meant to be that journey. Society pressure expects you to be a certain way. Sometimes these pressure are not necessarily healthy for you, because not everyone is going to have the same outcomes as other people. Just because I choose the same route as you doesn't mean that you're gonna end up in the same outcome as I do. Pick your own journey, pick your own route. Everyone is on a different timeline. Don't force yourself to be in a timeline when it is not your time yet. When you go through school, you have friends around you who are in the same timeline as you. You guys go through junior high together, high school together. You might even go to the same college, and you guys are always in the same bubble. It's safe and very secured to see someone else going towards the same direction as you. But eventually, when you get older, you're gonna be separated from your peers. And it's scary, especially if you've never walked on your own before. People pleasing is really all about doing things to make people accepted of you, and sometimes that would mean doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. Doing that would help people like you more, and that's so toxic because you can't live like that forever. You're not meant to people please for the rest of your life. That's why you see a lot of adults growing up and they literally just don't give an ounce of fuck anymore because they people please their whole life. And I can completely understand why, because can you imagine just people please your entire life only to just realize that what was the point? People like you temporarily, but they're not gonna like you for who you are. Have character, be bold. Over time, as we grow older, we're gonna learn how to be just like that. I think it's just inevitable for everyone, especially when you're older and you have no fuck left to give. I think it's inevitable. I think we're all gonna get there. However, it would be nice to kind of acknowledge now that, you know what, I am people pleasing, and I tell myself this all the time. I feel like, especially when I started working as a new nurse, I had to people please all the time, especially with patients, coworkers, and it takes a huge toll on me. It takes a huge toll on my mental health. But now I'm about to be 5 years into my career now, and honestly, at this point in my life, I've learned how to be good and content being in my own skin without people pleasing. And if people don't like me, so be it. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Snow 2 podcast. I'm so excited to continue on this journey for 2025, to live with intentions and to live with grace. Every Friday, new episodes where we'll figure shit out together. Bye!